Awesome. So welcome, guys, everyone. Before we hit start or before we get started, I would just love to get a sense check of where everyone is at. Um, who has completed at least one learning path as well, and a skill badge, not the course badge, but a skills badge from completing a learning path. Who has completed a learning path so far? No one. Yeah, Roma is that. Roma, which learning path are you done with?
I'm done with the first learning path.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually with the second learning path, with the introduction to generative AI learning path.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I only have one lab left to finish the second learning path, but it's giving me some trouble. I think I wrote to you on the Discord channel, on the Slack channel.
Let me see. On the not Discord, on the Circle channel, right?
Yes, yes, on the
Okay.
Ask a Mentor channel. It was, I think, 5 or 6 days ago, though.
That was it,
It's
it was
about
around. Uh-huh.
running a web instance.
Let me see. Okay, I'll find it. Just give me a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Oh,
have tagged your name, so
you can just tag me again. You tagged me now?
okay.
Okay.
Let me
Okay.
just share a comment with you.
Yeah, and also just also add like the link to the actual lab itself so that we get to like see it together as well.
Okay, okay.
Awesome. Who else? I'm curious. Joel, Yared, Signe, where are you guys at? Have you been able to complete even a single even a learning path from like sorry, let me close my door, guys. Just give me a minute. Okay, yeah. To Joel, Yara, how are you guys doing? Where are you at so far?
I'm done with the first.
You're done with the Gemini learning path or the introduction to generative AI one? Hey, Yara, you're muted in case you're speaking. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Okay, you can let me know in the chat then. Joel, how far are you in terms of like the content?
From my side, I'm done with the first two, so I'm now starting the third one, the one of using like working with,
Oh,
like
okay.
using Gemini to better your
Oh,
development and all. Yeah,
awesome. Building with Gemini. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's nice. At least we have like we're on the right path, you guys. So next week we will be launching a program called Badger Mentor. That's basically an incentive where you get to have one-on-one career conversations with like the Google technical experts that we have in community. And it will only be available to those who actually complete at least two skills learning path as well. So I'm glad a majority of us on this call are on the right track. Sagni, hopefully, Asasai. Oh God, I hope I gave your name justice. Where are you on the curriculum and the content?
I have completed the two puzzles,
Oh,
and
you're done two
yeah,
parts. Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm halfway through the third one as well.
Okay, okay, okay. I love that. I love that, guys. So today I had planned for us to talk about, so there are like two questions within the community. So one Roma's question that I think slipped my mind, but I will get to it. Was he put it in the chat? Oh yeah, this is the link to the lab. Okay, let me just copy the link. And I share my screen just. So we'll start at I had prepared that we'll be diving deeper into there are some questions that were raised around Gemini and Vertex AI, but having had done the labs, I think the main issue is coming in terms of like accessibility. So we had two questions within the community itself. So one was centered around, so there's this, sorry, access is denied. And you shared a resource to that is not with us, I think. Let me see. Where is Zoom chat? Okay. Hey Roma, this is just directly to you. It's on which learning path? Because the link is shared, I cannot access.
It's the first learning path, which says getting started with Google Cloud.
Okay. Okay. So that's like, so it had the load balance issue and also had the web server issue, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Let me just see again. Get started. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, let me just try and access the laptop. 1 minute. So outside that, we will be working on this particular lab together. So I saw a lot of like questions in terms of like the Gemini apps with regards to Streamlight. And there was, I think, a bit of like friction in terms of this particular challenge lab, which I think is highly, highly dependent on having a deeper understanding on this lab and this lab. So it's basically a combination of getting started with Apex and also, no, sorry, Vertex AI and also Gemini as well. But before we jump that, let me also just ensure I open, okay, that is Gemini for Google Cloud. So just one. So that is this link. Okay, so getting started with Google Cloud. And then it was which one? It was which course?
It is the third course, Google Cloud Fundamentals, Core Infrastructure.
Google, okay, this one here. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, and then it had, okay, Google Cloud Fundamentals. Let's just not.
Hi, and welcome to.
I just want to go directly to like the labs themselves. Okay. And which lab was it? Was
It's the lab called Getting Started with Cloud Storage and Cloud SQL.
this
That
one
one.
here.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we can do this lab together just step by step for us to be able to like see the main pain points as well. And then we will get back to also those struggling with the one on the Gemini that was a bit more prominent in the community as well. So Google Cloud Fundamentals, of course, cloud storage, and we're talking about like buckets. So when you think about like cloud storage and cloud SQL, one of the key things it's taking what you've learned in terms of like other databases and just being able to host the databases within the cloud itself. So there's like there are instances where databases like, for example, Postgres can be hosted on Google Cloud. Like I've worked in an organization where the whole backend database infrastructure was hosted on Google Cloud as well. So when you think about also like storage buckets, just think about spaces or in terms of like where we can be able to store information and retrieve and make it readily available. So there are different kinds of like databases. So for example, in AWS, we have AWS buckets as well. In Google Cloud, we also have like the storage buckets that more or less like handle artifacts. And by artifacts, I mean like either video data, image data, and things like that. So as they mentioned, we will be configuring applications to be able to run within the compute engine and use a database managed by Cloud SQL. So these are relational databases. For example, either we could use MySQL or we could use Postgres databases as well. So let's just get started in terms of like the key objectives of this lab, as of course, is to create a storage bucket and place an image in it, create a Cloud SQL instance and just being able to configure it, connect. And guys, if I am talking too loud because I'm sharing my entire screen and I cannot, oh God, where did the Zoom chat go? Okay, yeah, just ping me or just unmute within the chat and I'll be able to like explain in case something, a step is missing as well. Okay. As the task requirement, as I always say, always read the task. So before you actually hit the start a lab button, okay? So read the task, like just being able to set it up. So the first task is of course centered around like setting it up. Next is being able to open the cloud console as well. I'll walk through. So I saw on the community, like in Circle, a lot of people are like manually trying to put in the password and email. And I think that's what was bringing the aspects of like input a phone number for authentication purposes. But there's a way you can right click just from this particular section and then you're able to directly access the lab as well. Okay, so we will be spinning resources through that, following like step-by-step directions. The first in terms of like subsequent pages as well. So we will create an instance called blog shots as well. Make changes in terms of like region zone. We'll
Sorry to
provide the
interrupt.
Pardon?
Sorry to interrupt. This task is very not working. I think I need more explanation here. Needs a
Hello, sorry, I missed you. I can't get
yeah,
you.
it's sharing.
What are you saying?
The lab, this one. It says the requirement is not fulfilled. I tried it 3 times.
It's triggered.
The task number 2.
Let me share. Or could you type your question? Because I can't hear. You're saying task number 2 in terms of like deploying the web server.
Yeah.
Or you're talking about something totally different? Hello? Hi. Are we good to, let me see. Oh, the link in the lab. Oh, this is the link in the lab that is giving me. No, that was like before, I think. Yes, who is unmuted?
Sorry, Faith, can I intervene?
Yes.
Okay, so I think the problem with this lab is on task 2, which is the task that you have opened up right now. It
Okay.
says to create a web server, and there is a startup script. If you scroll a bit down, you can see that there is a startup script, and I don't think the startup script is right because, first of all, it doesn't have a shebang operator. So what it does is it doesn't install the PHP application into the server, and that is what causes the trouble going to the other tasks. So it doesn't pass the
So this,
requirements. You can check it, but it never passes the requirements for this task.
Okay, so basically the apt-get install Apache doesn't run as expected.
Exactly.
Ideally, it's supposed to install everything and it's not launched for the startup script. Okay, someone else unmuted. Okay.
That's exactly the problem. He's right.
Okay, let's see if we can do it all together so that we can recreate. And I think we are recording this, so I'll be able to like more or less like share a snippet of the recording, and then we can be able to share it with Google Team if it actually has a bug as well. So let us start the lab. This lab requires 5 credits. And we can open it here. So the first step is, of course, find Google Cloud Console, Incognito, Lab Springs. So if you right click, so if you access the Cloud Console by just simply right click and then open link into new tab, it automatically sort of like signs you in. So you don't have to input password, and you don't have to directly input your password and also your username as well, because it takes you automatically to this particular page. So that's the simplest way of accessing it on Incognito. But just to make sure this is a correct. Okay, yeah, agree and continue. Awesome. So the first step, we have everything set up in terms of like the correct ID, password, blah, blah, blah. We go to task 2. So first of all, we open Cloud Compute and then a VM instance. Let us go Compute Engine. I do not like to manually create these things, but it's fine. The next step is to create an instance, and then for region and zone, select the zone assigned by Quickie Labs as well. So let's just recreate this particular error so that we see. So we click and then create instance. Next. Okay, done. So we can give this instance, it's called, name is blog host. And then we basically maintain the zone as well. The region and zone is the one that's like auto assigned. We basically maintain that. For machine type, we accept the default that is provided. In this case, it's the E2. For the in the left panel there, click the OS and storage, and then it has to be, if it's not in Debian Linux, we can change. So we have machine type. On the left side, we have here, so we have Debian GNU Bookworm, that's the default as well. If we click on networking, I think we can maintain this. We're not installing firewall. In firewalls, we allow HTTP traffic. And then in the left pane, we also click advanced. So we've allowed HTTP practice. We go to advanced. In the advanced, under automation, we are supposed to copy this script. So advanced, we are here. Automation as a startup script. We're supposed to paste it inside there. So basically what the script does is installs PHP, Apache, and MySQL Server, and also restarts the Apache as well. So they said like, be sure to supply that script as the value of the startup script field. So we come here, we've put automation. And then, yeah, okay. So it's in the correct space, startup script. Next, leave the remaining parts like default. So again, this with OS is Debian default, E2, one firewall allows for HTTP traffic, and then our startup script is there as well. I think we can create the instance. So on the VM page, so leave the remaining select create. The instance takes about like 2 minutes to launch and be fully available for use. So on the VMs page, you copy the blog host VMs internal and external IP addresses to a text editor for later use in the lab. So let's just give it a minute to try, and then we test it out again. So ideally, like it needed to have like a shebang, I think, but the script in itself at the onset, ouch, sorry. The more like the interface itself assumes like a shell environment for the VM as well. But yeah, let's recreate it and then we can update. So ideally we need to copy this so we can, someone said something, says meeting the requirements. Okay, sorry, 1 minute. I am looking for my not reminders. We need to copy this to the clipboard. So let's just create a Google Doc that we can just come back to. So the main error is it the shebang not made or the other parts of like the requirements?
So basically, the problem is the web server doesn't have the Apache server in the PHP installed.
Oh,
it should have read it from the startup script and installed it during the building of the instance. However, you will not find the PHP server, and hence it will not pass the task. If you try checking for the task for the progress, it's not going to pass.
Okay, but if we connect it via SSH, it's connected. Okay, 1 minute. Internal IP. So we have that blog post. Let's just see if we've met, quote unquote, all the requirements, I hope. So currently the VM is running and the instance is provided, US Central 11, Debian 12. Was it Debian 12 or Debian 2? Okay. 12 bookworm. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's working, guys. So that if it's failing because you guys missed a step. You understood, or should I end the lab and restart again?
Yes, I actually did the same thing, but it doesn't pass.
So if it's telling you like missing requirement, not the shebang, unless you also added like how can I put it, like negative y, and then there's some weird space between to interfere with like installation process. So you do not need like the shebang as well. That's why I was saying like the automation. It's set up like it automatically runs this. So what that automation does, it will get into the VM CD and then apt install in the Linux shell environment without us having to have the shebang script at the top. So if we were using, for example, Cloud Shell to be able to access this, and then writing a shell script, then the shebang script would be required at the end of the day. But I think if the error message you're getting is missing a requirement, either we, rather than the default, we either did not use default access type, or you'd find like in the setup itself, you missed a step in terms of like the image and the Debian itself or the networking. But another alternative is if you can SSH into the instance just to validate if it was not created, you can SSH directly into the instance and then check for PHP version as well, then it will be able to give you that as well. Like you can set up the SSH on your own. But I can end the lab and just redo it again so that we don't say Faith just got lucky.
It's actually very interesting because I did the lab 2 times and I followed the exact same steps. I even SSH'd into the VM instance and checked if there was PHP installed, and it was never installed until I added the shebang on the automation script, or
Then it,
just had to install the scripts manually after the instance was
yeah.
created. So
Or
that's why I
alternative.
already lost 2 credits to 10 credits doing it twice. And I'm just surprised that it's working now, and I don't even know what to
It's
say.
it's also because like you see, I was not manually typing this command. So when you're manually typing, you could either you could find yourself like you forget a letter or you forget a space or you forget something. So first way is if you do it the first time and it's not working and you manually, because I encourage everyone to manually type because that's how you write it into your brain as well. So if you do the first step, you manually type and it's not working, test it out a second time with regards to just copy pasting the code as commanded, like just copy paste without manually typing. Because that also, you could find like, especially if someone was like manually typing, it's so easy to forget a hyphen or so easy to forget an I somewhere, or so it is easy to add a space somewhere that is not necessary as well, that could more or less like nullify the entire startup script command. So, and then you see like the note there is be sure to supply that script as the value of the starter script field. Ensure it's not put in another field as well. But I think if the issue was around the MySQL, the script on its own, I am happy to have like someone share their screen and then we do it together so that we also I get to see it on your end. Yes, Jared, your hand is up.
I tried that a lot of times and it's not really working for me. I don't think so.
Pardon?
I tried it a lot of times. I even deleted the virtual machine instance and we tried it a lot of times. It doesn't work. Maybe I'm missing something, but I did exactly what you did.
Okay, I can stop sharing and then we can do it together on someone's screen who's willing to like volunteer. We do it together and see if we can pass whoever did not get through that section.
Okay.
I'd be glad to do it if you want.
Okay,
Or
share your screen and then we can start the entire process again.
okay. Mm, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see your entire screen.
Okay, perfect. So this is the lab. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to do it quickly.
Let's just follow the instruction as well. Launch it the same
Okay,
way
okay,
step at a time as well.
okay,
Then right click and then go to the section.
okay.
You a different language.
Yeah, that's Amharic because I'm in Ethiopia and I'm in a private window. So that's
So
why.
everything, at least the project is
No,
in
just the
English.
Google page. It's only the Google page.
Okay. And then go to compute engine
Okay,
and then VM. So and then create an instance.
okay,
You can just stop the tutorial section, just close the learn
okay,
tutorial, the scaling.
okay.
So
So
Okay, so first
the
step is
name
to
should be
delete that entire
blog
thing.
host.
Yes. Why do you have equivalent code?
Okay, I'm just leave that. So just to make sure for the region, I can
Yeah, just leave
go
it as
here. It says US East 1, and the
no,
zone is US East
like
1C.
the for example, like for region and zone. So you see on our end,
Yes.
it was like auto generated. So I think that's
Okay.
where. So we did
So I
not.
should leave it as it is.
Yeah, just leave it as it is. We did not change it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then
For machine type, it says accept the default.
yes. So go
And for
to
the OS and storage, I think the default is
Debian.
sufficient because it says Debian
Yes.
GNU Linux 12.
Okay, next stage. The
Okay.
next
So the next one is
networking
click
HTTP.
networking. And then
Uh,
in firewall, we allow the HTTP traffic.
yes, yes, that one.
Okay.
And
And then
then
in the left pane, it says click advanced. And in
automation.
automation, copy and paste the script. So I'm just
Yes.
copying the script. So we go
And
to
then
advanced,
yes.
and
And
then
then
I scroll here on the automation startup script.
yes,
I will paste the
like that. Yeah.
exact script and leave it as it is.
Mhm.
And then it says leave the remaining settings as their defaults and click
And then
create.
yes.
So I'll just click create.
Yeah.
Okay. So while this is creating, the next task says to copy the instance's internal and external IP address to a
In a
text
text.
editor for use later in this lab. Okay.
So that one we can copy another time. Let's just see once it's here.
Exactly. Let's just check for the. As soon as it
Yeah.
finishes, I'll check my progress.
Yes, let's just wait. No, no hurry.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's just taking some time.
Nice, nice. We have the time, guys. This is 1.5 hours. Yeah. So we have the time.
Exactly. So I
Okay.
think it's done now. It's created. So
Okay.
I'll
Now
just come here and click on check my progress.
exactly. Hi.
Wow. That's
The,
that's a
you see,
new thing.
you see the mistake that we did differently was leave
Yes,
the region and zone as default. So rather than copy,
exactly.
so that's where the error was. So you had to suppose because the experiment was like the instructions were leave it as default. So the one that's provided by the lab on its own on the VM instance.
So the only problem I see is it says for the region and zone, select the region and zone assigned by Quick
Assigned
Labs.
by the labs
And
itself.
over here, Quick Labs has assigned a zone, US
These are
East
like
1P.
the project ones, but the ones that was
Okay,
more or less like default provided by the
okay,
instance own. But that's
okay,
also an instruction problem, and it's feedback that we can give to the Google team because that instruction
okay,
is yeah,
okay, perfect. I'll just stop sharing my screen now.
yeah, you can share your screen and just finish the lab in the process.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay. Yared,
Yeah, that's
next step,
silly, really.
uh-huh.
I keep selecting the regions a lot of times.
It's working now.
Yeah, so I should skip the region.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah. Anyone else with a different lab issue as well? So from the community, there are like few more or less like changes that I saw. Let me just end this lab. So we had an issue with regards to someone mentioned they're unable to access like the Jupyter notebooks from the labs themselves. Back to again. And one way to fix that is just to redo the entire process because mostly these were often caused by the if there's a network interruption itself, the labs, in terms of like the notebooks, won't open as expected. So the whole idea is to close it and start the process again and launch it a second time as well. But in the meantime, let's talk about, I think we wanted to utilize Streamlit framework to be able to Streamlit framework to be able to launch and deploy, because once you're able to have a clear understanding on this, you should be able to play around with the challenge lab on your own as well. But before we do that, a few things to talk about. So Vertex AI is basically the cloud platform where a lot of like Gemini, Google platforms for basically machine learning workflows. So what that is, my camera on. Can you guys hear me? Because my network is behaving funny. Am I still sharing my screen? Am I on the call? Okay.
Your screen is not shared, but we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Let me share my screen. Awesome. So I was talking about key concepts with regards to like what is a Vertex AI. So if you are interested into the machine learning path of development as well, so Vertex AI serves like Google's platform for machine learning workflows. So this is where like it hosts like either the Gemini API. It also is, we are able to also integrate and manage like the AI with like different servers as well. So remember, like currently within the software space, you have to be able to integrate AI within your application itself, either build with the large language models, and that's why software engineering is switching into either AI development or developer support engineering that was previously called DevOps as well. A lot of that comes from like having a deeper understanding of like how do these either Gemini, if it's like ChatGPT or it's like Grok API, how are you able to use them and efficiently integrate them within your development. So some of the key models that are hosted in with Gemini are, one, we have of course the Gemini models for like DeepMind, the ones that we either interact with within the text basis as well. We also have the Gemini Pro, very essential and good for like reasoning, and also the Gemini Flash that is of course faster, cheaper, and quick response. So we will start with this lab, but for you to be able to conclude like this main lab, the develop Gen app, you need to have a clear understanding, because the more it's referencing some of the labs that were covered previously. So it's referencing this particular lab, which is very essential. It's also referencing this using Streamlit framework with Cloud Run and Gemini as well. So you do this, and I think a bit of this, you should be able to crack this challenge lab, because it tests like a deeper understanding as well. But yeah, let's just dive into what you're covering today. So Streamlit is like, we're used to like front-end frameworks, for example, either Django. The Django is a full stack framework and also a backend framework. But if you think of either React or something like that, Streamlit is basically a Python library that turns scripts into web applications. So it's very, you do not need to hard code. You do not need to hard code either creating a front-end interface or something like that. With Streamlit, you can easily convert like either your shell scripts or your ML flows or scripts into I would say what looks like a front-end interface as well. So they're basically used in terms of displaying either machine learning algorithm or the performance of different models within the machine learning space. And then we also have Cloud Run. So Cloud Run is a service by Google, which basically allows for serverless deployment. So we have learned, I think, from the previous lab that we were working with, we need to build a server on its own using an instance, a virtual machine or a VM instance, where we can be able to deploy applications. But in terms of like instances where we do not need to create a server, we can leverage on Cloud Run, which allows for serverless deployments, allows us to deploy applications that do not entirely depend on a server. So for example, you can either upload a Docker container or a Docker image in Cloud Run as well, and it's able to like scale automatically. Paid services works the same way all services in Google works, in terms of like pay only for what you use. And then another thing is, of course, the artifact registry, which serves as within Google itself. So it's either it's the Docker cloud or Docker version for Google. So for this particular case, we will be interacting with like three main models. So we have Gemini Pro model, as I said, like used to design complex reasoning and including it's basically what we interact with on if you're having like a paid Gemini account as well. We also have the Flash Gemini Flash that are basically optimized for speed and efficiency. So guys, one of the key things is the principle, like focus on understanding the concepts itself, then you can be able to scale them even to other platforms. So for example, you can be able to scale them if you're working with chat OpenAI APIs and things along those lines as well. The principle is the same, the technologies are different. So as said, you need Python programming, which I think a majority of us have, being able to play around with different API concepts, and then running, of course, Python code on Jupyter notebook. So as always, I will start this lab. But just before I continue, are we on the same page? I am so weirdly cannot see people. Are we together? Are we aligned? No one is lost? Anyone who is lost? Okay, we are aligned. Okay, cool. And if you have a question, just raise your hand, or or just unmute, and I'll be able to hear your voice and then stop talking. So 5 credits. And then the quickest way is access labs using this section. So you right click on your incognito tab, and then it launches the lab itself. You do not have to sign in with the email provided and the password, because that's what's bringing the weird interface error that is asking for your phone number as well. So basically understand terms and conditions of Google. Okay. Awesome. Okay, let us just accept, agree, and continue. So we have started our cloud, set up Google Shell as required. The next is open up cloud. So we're supposed to open up a Cloud Shells terminal to be able to just be able to download the artifacts as well. So Cloud Shell, then we open editor, and then we make changes to it. And then if you follow the instructions as provided, not trying to overthink it, a step at a time, you should be able to like free yourself from like errors as well. Okay. And then we can just launch the terminal on its own. So we just, again, always confirm that you're in the right, because you open like so many labs, sometimes you can forget to log out of a lab and then you find yourself, you're doing things on the wrong lab. So always just confirm you have the correct project ID as well, which is more or less like similar to your cloud platform. So the first step we want to do is download more or less like download the cloud storage bucket and navigate, of course, to Gemini Streamlight as well. So to do that, we will just run this particular command where we're calling in the JSUIT util, and then it's taking us to the Gemini Streamlit and Cloud Run, some of like the key resources that we'll be using here. Paste. As always, first step, ensure you type, if you type the commands out, Faith is always copy pasting because of time, but to ensure like you have the mental, you're able to, it kind of like builds good practice and also puts in a mental note so that you familiarize yourself with the code itself. So the next step is to navigate. So the CD command is to change the directory. So we are navigating to the Gemini Cloud Run. And then we need to configure itself. So we use the SCD command to be able to directly modify the app.py file. So for example, if I listed files here, so as you can see, we have the app.py file. If I wanted to see the details in it, sorry, okay, Control C, clear, and then cut app.py. Where is ls? Okay, cut app.py. So this provides this is just gives a hands-on visibility of what is in the file itself in terms of the scripts and all that. So what the SCD command is basically, it goes inside these files, looks for where there's a line called Gemini Pro model, and more or less replaces it with this particular content as well. So it's more or less like filling the blanks. We could do that manually by simply VI into the file and then making changes directly, but using a shell command as this is simpler as well. Okay, so clear, and then we paste. So that automatically updates our app.py file. Next is, of course, we're going to set up the Streamlight. So we set up a Python environment, always code in an environment so that it's easy to be able to transfer and be able to maintain dependencies, especially when you're collaborating with different teams. Like if you're building Python software, build it in an isolated environment, frees you from instances where it works on my machine and does not work on my colleague's machine as well. Yeah, but as we're waiting for the environment to set up, are we together? Are we all on the same page? Are we aligned? Where I cannot see people, so are we? Thumbs up, are we aligned? Anyone with a question?
We're good. We're good.
Awesome. Thank you so much as well. Yeah, let's clear here. Always love to work on a clean terminal. Awesome. So we've set up and we've been able to pip install our environment. We've been able to get into the environment itself, and we've been able to install the required dependencies. In this case, everything that was in the requirements.txt file. So basically, we are installing the Streamlit and also we're installing the Google Gen I within the environment of its own. Next is to be able to set up the Google Cloud with the project ID. This is, of course, provided by default. We simply copy like that as well. The next step is to build a Docker image. So you can see from the command here, we define a repo called Gemini. We give it a service name, and then we are able to store it as an artifact repository. It creates it as an artifact, and then ultimately packages it all into a Docker container. So that's what this particular function or this particular command does at the end of the day. So for context, if you've never worked with Docker before, Docker is just a platform that is used to basically package applications into blocks of containers that can easily be scalable. So for example, it's in a nutshell, you take an application and you take the contents of your application, put it in a box that is called Docker, package it nicely, and it can be easily shipped to the next person, and they can rebuild the application the same way you built it on your own machine. So that is the advantages of Docker. So for this particular code itself, we have the artifact registry that basically, of course, focuses, because we learned earlier at the explanation of the labs, we use the artifact registry section to be able to store and build images as well. The GC Cloud allows us, the GC Cloud submit tag, this particular command basically uses cloud build to be able to create the Docker image from the Docker file and then pushes it to the registry as well. So the entire process should be able to take 3 to 4, not more than 2 minutes. And if we look into our files here, you can see we also have a Docker file defined. So when you're working with Docker, you can either have a Docker compose.yaml file, which is Docker compose. That's a subject for another day. But for you to be able to use Docker, you need to have Docker file. present. So this basically tells, like, for this particular Docker file, we are building from a Python image. We are exposing port 8080. We have a working directory called app. We copy all the content in it. We run pip install.requirements.py, and then we have an entry point where application should be able to run, and that is like Streamlit. Okay, are we aligned as well? Awesome. So the next step, as I said, was to run the build not fashion, sorry, clear. Yes, so this particular build command that's been provided. So always when you see like such complex commands, just try and look at them in isolation. So like what's happening in line 1, what's happening in line 2. And the world has lately made learning so easy. You can easily just have AI explain it without you having to go trying to look at the different commands within the documentation itself. So leverage as much in terms of like learn what each line does and have a clear understanding of like what happens on each line as well of the commands that have been used. So this would take some time, but yeah, I hope we are aligned in terms of like how to follow the entire process. Or anyone does not know what Faith is talking about needs Faith to restart as we wait on our container to be built. Let me see, people. Are we aligned? Are we together? Are we all good? Awesome. Okay. So this could, yeah, this more or less always takes a bit of like some time because it's pulling images and building images from scratch as well. So that's the entire process. And then once that is done, so we already have a Docker image, we already have a Docker container, we can now deploy it to a service, for example, Cloud Run, which allows for serverless deployment as well. We can deploy it on Cloud Run and be able to run the image that we had built. So be able to run the Docker container that we had built. We should be able to do that. It will provide us a link and we should be able to access it and make that link as well public. Let's wait. Yeah, this is going to take a bit of some time. But in the meantime, as we wait on that, I am open to answering any other questions anyone might have so far. Any questions with the labs? Is there anyone who still does not have access to credits? Hello. Hi. Are we on the same space? Or have we all just switched off?
No, we're good. We're following you.
Yeah, so the thing with Google with Zoom nowadays is you never know if an AI profile is in the meeting or an actual person is actually in the meeting. But thank you so much, Rama, for the assurance as well. Let's give it let me have a second look at it. Guys, it's taking its sweet time. Share the entire screen. Yeah, it's taking its sweet time, so we'll just have to wait a little so far. But as we wait, I would love to just probe you guys. So what has been your biggest frustration with the program so far? I'd love to know, like, give us feedback as we wait. Anyone would like to tell us? Anyone? Let me see, someone put it in the chat. Okay. Oh, enough credits to work on all labs in all. Yes, the credits, the 200 credits are actually in excess, but it should be enough to work on all the labs and all the labs and all the like the different learning parts as well. It should be able, unless, and guys, if you do, for example, something twice and you're still not making headway, do take a break, come back to it and ask yourself, like, what am I not following? Because the instructions, like either there's a typo or there's a step within the instructions that is not very hands-on clear as expected. So always take a step up. Do not try a lab 10 times and still remain stuck. Give it at max twice. If you're stuck, post it in the channel, ask a question, or we can meet within the office hour and do the labs together the way we did previously. Okay? So that's a way of like saving. Do not try a lab 10 times. Try it first. If it doesn't go, give it a second time. If the second time doesn't work, you can leverage on your peers, reach out to your peers like, hey, I am stuck on this lab. What are some of the challenges you're facing? This is what I've done. I think I've done everything right. If you still don't get help, then reach out to the Ask a TM channel. Myself, Lakun, would be able to look at them and also respond to your questions as well. And also join the office hours. Just bring the lab to the office hours and then we will do them. We will all just do them together and give it a shot. Okay? But Suhai, the labs, the credits should be able to, is enough to sustain you across all the labs. The credits is enough to sustain you across all the labs. Okay, awesome. So we have a Docker container, we have the image that is working as package.dev, and the status, it was created successfully. So the next step is to deploy it to Cloud Run as well as per the instructions. So we've set it here. We have the final step is deploy the created container or the artifact to Cloud Run as well. So to do that, of course, we have the Cloud Run. We define the port itself. In this case, the project should run, or the container itself should run on like port 8080 as we defined in the Docker. The allow authenticated basically simply means it should be able to go on the internet for free without any particular authentication as well. So we're basically defining key variables within Cloud Run. It takes ultimately like the default versions. So to do that, simply, as always, I will keep repeating, do not be like Faith. Faith is trying to condense everything within this session, this 1 hour that we have. Always, 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 if you can, type out. And one way to ensure you're not doing things wrongly is to just write it down on a pen and paper. Write the command down on a pen and paper. Look at it, compare it, then is when you type it down on your machine. That's why I was telling you, like, read through, before you click start a lab, read through, just take notes of the commands you'd be using. Because also, you need to take notes because at the end of this program, you might not have access to the labs and the notebooks. So if you do not have access to the labs and the notebooks, code without practice is delulu. You will forget. If you're not practicing, if you're not doing it, if you're not building the hand to, like, the brain, you're not building your brain is not like recognizing the muscles from like the typing it on its own. I'm giving you 1 week and you will forget. You will just remember there was a command that starts with a G. You would even forget that there's G Cloud Run deploy. So always, always like take notes as part of like learning, and practice and practice and practice. That's how you are able to achieve some form of mastery, because practice makes better. Awesome. So we have this. So we have this URL. This is our deployed applications available on the web. And then we have an interface. It takes again, you see like it can be accessed by anyone on the internet. And we have like a simple stream it front end UI that allows us to be able to play around with. We can have a prompt here like 1,000 ways to say hello. Have it generate. Of course, it will take a bit of time, but yes, we simply have like a simple UI deployed. We have it generated. As you can see, it's working as expected, a bit too much that I expected, but it's working, and that's how we're able to build on Vertex. So as I was saying, take notes, take notes of every lab, try and redo that process, because those are some of the key things that will be tested in an interview. You're given an interview and you said like, deploy this to Cloud Run GCP. What commands are you going to use? How do you ensure like that application is available for free, especially if you're looking for the career path as a cloud engineer. So that is enough of Faith's TED Talk. I would love to see if there are any further questions. Any questions, any confusions? Do you have, okay, someone is asking, do you have advice for those guys who had issues with credit access, started learning after the issue was resolved, which was a week ago? How do you manage that time to fully benefit? I think Anne just responded, but Anne, would you like to unmute and just so that everyone can hear your voice today? Anna?
Sorry, where I am is a bit noisy, so that's why I'm typing.
No worries. But Anne says like setting up like clear daily goals, focus on the most important modules first, and just be consistent. And also just giving yourself grace. If you put like 2 hours a day, even you say like I want to spend 4 hours a day, but find pockets within the day to be able to show up, you should be able to navigate and crack it out as well. So do give yourself engaged and stay engaged with the community, as Anne says. Ask questions. I keep saying, and I will always say, because my mentor used to tell me that 1,001 times, the only stupid question is the question that were never asked in the first place. Okay? Suhan is asking, what is the most important modules? I think all of them are important. Just ensuring like you are able to try all the labs, because you need to complete all the labs in order to be able to get and earn yourself a skills badge at the end of the day. So it's how you structure your time. The advantage of this program is you can start with anywhere. So you can say like Gemini is it Introduction to Generative AI is simply 8 hours of the course content. I might as well get that to get it over and done. I go to the next one that's shorter hours and then do the longest skills path that I think takes, is it 48 or something hours? Do the longest one at on the last section. Or alternatively, you can start with the one that takes in more hours to clear out the space so that you're building energy for the ones that take in less hours as well. I would say there's no quote unquote like structure or where I can say start with A, end with Z. It all depends on like what actually works for you. Okay? Okay, Suhai? Or Sahai? Yeah, I hope I pronounced your name well. Anyone with a question, because our session, we can call it a wrap. Anyone else with a question? Are we all together? Guys, remember the only stupid question is the question that was never asked in the first place. So post your questions on that. If you have a particular, which lab is that? Clean? Could you post in the Ask a Mentor channel? So the structure of posting is just put the learning path and the lab that you're working on, and then I'll be able to easily trace it out and respond to your question. Okay, Clean? Awesome. There are no further questions. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I think Anna, when we'll be sharing recording, will also give add like is it a feedback survey, so that you guys can share your feedback of the entire experience and what would you like to see more and how we can best improve these office hours to be able to maximize your entire experience and ensure we all make it to the finish line. Okay, that's it. Asanteni, do have a lovely rest of your day, everyone. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye, Faith. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye. I hope I recorded this. Yeah, I recorded it. I recorded. Thank you so much, everyone. I will end the call now. Bye, guys.